Hi everyone, Allegra Miller here to share with you the astrology for February 3rd, 2021, and the essential oils that will be helpful in processing these energies. In the basic category, the lineup I'll be talking about is lavender, breathe, and frankincense. Frankincense. And in the specialty category, forgive, pink pepper, and slim and sassy. So let's talk about why. At 9:15 this morning, the moon went into Scorpio. Scorpio is a fixed water sign that is represented by the scorpion in the zodiac. It represents birth, death, and regeneration. It brings to the table over the next few days heightened intuition, heightened emotions, more of a passion-driven energy, an artistic energy, an investigative energy, and on the shadow, Scorpio often, the emotional aspect of Scorpio can sometimes be construed negatively, but I'm an advocate for really seeing that deep emotional aspect as a real asset in our world, in a culture where emotions are so often encouraged. We're so often encouraged to suppress our emotions. Something that I know for myself, I have and continue to work on all the time is really being more okay with my intensely emotional side and leaning into the emotions, working with the emotions, being less afraid of them, and seeing them more as navigational tools, especially when I can bring a witnessing consciousness to it. But being less okay with just suppressing emotions. That's what leads to the shadowy aspects that some of these signs have attributed to them, because that is what happens when we're not taught how to really utilize these positive aspects. So anyway, emotions in this light can be a super positive thing, especially because Mercury is still retrograde, just bringing up stuff from our past. Unfinished business to the surface to be healed. This Scorpio energy is going to be that investigative energy that will pull emotions to the surface so that they can be released. And we're not supposed to suppress our emotions. So I picked some oils with this in mind. Forgive is one. Forgive on the front and back of the heart topically, bottom of the feet, on the wrists, inhaling and putting on topically down the whole spinal cord if you can reach it, but especially the front and back of the heart. And well, I'm going to talk about the moon aspects. And so anyway, that's some of the shadowy side. Also a tendency to overly compare, maybe fixate on that a little bit, all or nothing behaviors. And so some of the oils I chose have that in mind. At 1:55 p.m., the moon squared Venus in Aquarius, which can create a tension that can be felt throughout the rest of the day in terms of this desire to be loved and social, which is why I chose breathe. Breathe helps us feel more loved. It helps to release old griefs and old wounds and sadness. Anyway, there'll be this polarity with this energy between this desire to be loved and social, and a desire to be solo and private, and Scorpio can kind of pull away sometimes. Anyway, with this energy there can be a tendency toward impulsiveness, overdoing, and self-indulgent behavior, which is why I chose Slim and Sassy to help curb impulsiveness and also curb self-indulgent behavior. So Slim and Sassy, I've got it going in my glass, not plastic. I put it in my water. I drink it, sip on it throughout the day. That instantly is a energy lifter. It will help with that passionate side of Scorpio energy that is a really good influence. This water energy being with all this air energy and all the other aspects I've been talking about over the last several weeks, this water, I personally am really glad to have some water energy in the mix as a fellow water sign. So this is a nice energy. Okay, so that was Slim and Sassy. Yes, blah, blah, blah. Okay, 6:47 p.m. the moon squares Saturn in Aquarius. What this transit brings up to the surface is another desire to connect. And yet this is not just any connection. This is a deep intimacy connection. Somewhere along the way I heard intimacy meaning into me I see. Or into you I see. I think into me I see. Anyway, what it means to me, basically the gist is that the deepest level of intimacy is this seeing that everywhere we look, we're looking at an aspect of ourself on the deepest level. And so this transit relates to our desire for that level of connection, not just any connection, a deep connection of rootedness on a common ground of consciousness. And anyway, it also asks questions related to your legacy, what legacy you're creating, and then like who's the commander in chief of that legacy. That Saturn energy is that's going to be some of the question that could potentially be coming up with this energy in terms of asking yourself, like, what legacy are you creating, and is that legacy that you're creating coming from your divinity, or is it coming from some fragmented aspect of the egoic self that is creating this legacy image? But anyway, those are some of the aspects. Frankincense, for all of what I just described, also that the moon squaring Venus in Aquarius can also be really good for detecting BS. Frankincense is one of the oils I chose for that, and for this third aspect as well. Frankincense is another great one to put in your water. Again, this is doterra only. I'm only talking about doterra. Huge difference in terms of chemistry. Frankincense is a very good oil at distilling truth from false, and also exercising the shadowy aspects, lower vibrational aspects of ourself that are not in alignment to what we're committed to. This helps clear those, trim that, clear discordant energies instantly. I put it topically on. I take it in my water, glass, not plastic. I also put it on my forehead. I put it in my skincare program on the regular too, which is another whole thing, but that's more for its benefit to the skin. But for these levels, taking it internally, you'll definitely feel a difference. You can also put it on your thumb, rub your thumb to the roof of your mouth so that blood flow gets to those areas where it will more quickly uptake to the brain centers. Frankincense passes the blood-brain barrier in a very quick way, and that helps with pineal pituitary activation, and I find it very powerful to do that. So I know you look funny, but hold it to the roof of your mouth, make sure your hands are clean, and then just, yeah, like that. Anyway, it works. You can put it on the thumbs and the big toes, also the top of the head. Those are some of the points for frankincense. Let's see. The moon is opposite Uranus at 8:51 p.m. This can add more of that impulsive energy. So back to breathe, back to slim and sassy. That will help. It's also a call for deep self-honesty relative to our self-reflection. This is going to be asking investigative questions that we can channel that Scorpio influence in a positive way to really do inquiry around our aha moments and our self-reflection, and ask those deeper questions like, is this self-reflection truly coming from my true self, or is it true self-awareness, or is it ego self-awareness kind of. Anyway, frankincense will help with that. Pink pepper is in the lineup here because this really helps us soften any desire to compare ourselves with others. It helps bring that visceral awareness that there's more than enough room for everybody, that everyone is a unique aspect of the divine, that there's no reason to compare because there's that whole framework is coming from a divided consciousness and a place of lack. pink pepper really instills this sense that we're all this unique aspect of the divine. When we are aligned, there's never two of us that are going to be alike. So there's no reason to compare, and there's no reason to be judgmental of ourselves in that process or of others. This will helps to also, on just a other note, for like stiff necks, stiff backs. This is a really good muscle relaxer. So putting that on topically, you can cook with it. So black pepper is one that you can take internally. If the taste bothers you, you can put it in a veggie cap. But yeah, so basically that energy is just making sure you're not head tripping in your self-reflection, and that it's coming from a true self place. So I guess that's all I'm going to talk about today. Hopefully you found this valuable. Thank you so much for listening, liking, sharing, supporting. I appreciate it. If I can be of service on your journey, not only do I sell doTERRA, I also offer naturopathic consultations and bodywork, and also life coaching sessions. So reach out if I can help you in your journey. I would love to help. And have a great night, day, and